Man, I wish I could do that Keith Morrison voice. Was it vacation? Or was it murder? Sad scenario coming off of a cruise ship last week where a guy lost his life after a fight. There's been another big update, and we've got a city that, they messed around and they found out it's not good. And, there's a Royal Caribbean cruiser whose disembarkation day was ruined. Maybe her whole cruise was ruined. I don't know because of this. All that and more on today's episode. Let's go. Hey, what's up, everybody? Welcome to La Lido Loca. I'm your host, Tony, here to talk you through everything going on in cruising. And it's Tuesday. It's a cruise show for your face on a Tuesday the 12th of May, 2025. And let's kick it off with the sad tale of the cruise murder, or the suspected cruise murder. Something happened last week on the MSC Virtuosa, 2-day cruise, booze cruise, leaving from Southampton in the UK. A lot of people on board doing the stag and doe party, which is like bachelorette party. And by all accounts that have come out, it was a rowdy cruise. People were very intoxicated. There was a lot of altercations. There were a lot of fights. And one of those fights resulted in the death of a 60-year-old man just 2 hours after the cruise started. Something happened. There was an altercation. There was a fight, and a passenger ended up dead. Now, one passenger at the time was arrested under suspicion of murder. Since then, that person has been released on bail. And then the big news that came out yesterday is now a second passenger has been arrested, this time under suspicion of manslaughter. The name of the victim has been released. We talked about it last week. He was a grandfather. He was a cool dude in the community that ran a stunt show. And sadly, he passed away. We don't know the names of the people that have been arrested. And now the second person has also been released on bail. There's still a call out there for anybody who saw anything that might be pertinent to the investigation to contact the authorities there in the UK. This is, I don't know, it's very irregular. It's not something that happens in cruising frequently. We do seem to have more of these stories of people getting into fights, but this one's bad. You don't usually see a fight that ends with the loss of life. I'll keep you up to date. We don't know much more other than that second arrest, but sad stuff nonetheless. There you go. Cruise news story number 2, also connected to Southampton in the UK. There's a cruise ship that frequents that cruise port that just got inspected by the CDC. The CDC. And sometimes these inspection stories are good, and sometimes these inspection stories are bad. And this is an inspection story that is good. The Oceanana Vista just scored a perfect score, baby. 100 percentile on their sanitation inspection. And interestingly, even though they scored a 100%, there was still room for improvement. You ever been in that scenario, like where you get an A on your report card and somebody says, "Why didn't you get an A plus?" It's like, what? That's what this is like. Inspectors said, look, you scored a 100, but there's still some situations. They found like an uncovered food container, some sanitation hand washing scenario problems, but they weren't problems enough to rise to, be a deduction on their inspection. So 100 doesn't mean there still isn't work to do. But I tell you what, I would rather take 100 than an 85, which I believe is failing in that scenario. Congratulations, Oceanana, for your perfect CDC score. Cruising story number 3, I found it filed under Look Who Bit the Hand That Fed Them. We're talking about Mayorca in Spain. Mayorca, a popular Spanish cruise port, a popular Spanish embarkation port, or it was. Over the last year, they've had a lot of people protesting over tourism there in Mayorca, giving cruise tourists a hard time. And cruise lines have decided that there's other places they can go in that region that's a lot less contentious than Mayorca. They can go to Malta or Tunisia. They could even go to Portugal. They could go to Lisbon. And they don't have to deal with all the rigmarole of protesters hassling the cruise ships and hassling the cruisers. And so they're a gone pecan. And of course, local businesses are going, well, that sucks. Thanks, everybody. Thanks, everybody, for hurting our business by running the cruise ships off. Look, it's an interesting debate. Some people believe in the value of the business that cruise ships bring, and some people don't. And a lot of times the squeaky wheel gets the grease. And well, the squeaky wheel in Mallorca was the squeaky wheel of protest, and they got the grease, but they lost the business. I say it almost every time that, you know, cruise ships are going to cruise. So if your city shuts the door to cruise ships, some other city's going to open it up because it's money. It's floating money. And some places are happy to have it, and I guess some places aren't. Hey, quick programming note. We got a live show tonight. Don't really know what the topic's going to be, but it's going to be me, the lovely Jenny B, answering all of your cruising questions. And yeah, we'll see what we can get into. We'd love to see you here tonight on the YouTube channel, 9 p.m. Eastern Time. Come join us for a live cruise show, me and the lovely Jenny B. Cruise news story number 4, we have a Carnival cruise ship re-entering service over there in Europe. You know, if you're if you're an American in the kitchen, what are you in the bathroom? European. Get it? It's funny because Carnival Miracle has returned to service after a dry dock. The primary upgrades that the Miracle got in dry dock was the Heroes Bar, the Heroes Tribute Bar, which is now on 15 different Carnival cruise ships. They also got the Carnival Adventure gift shop, which I was just recently on the Carnival Paradise, and I'm all for cruise lines making more money, but I don't like it at the expense of seating. The atrium in the Carnival Paradise is so teeny anyways, and they took out like 4 couches to put a mini gift shop in there. I get it. You want to maximize the space for revenue, but jeepers creepers, don't take the seating away. I don't know that they did that on the Miracle. They also had updates to the Cloud9 Spa, Java Blue, Lido Marketplace. They did all the things that they do during an upgrade. Well, probably not all the things. They just did the things that were scheduled. But now the Miracle is back in play, taken off from Lisbon. I think Emma from Emma Cruises is actually on this ship. I don't know the last time I've ever seen her on a Carnival ship, so I'm excited to see her reports about the Carnival Miracle. And the reason I'm excited is because eventually the Miracle is going to make its way to Tampa, which is my home port. So it might be cool to cruise on the Miracle sometime. I think they're coming to Tampa in November. Maybe we get on the Miracle. I believe in miracles. There you go, you sexy thing. Shout out Ludacris. Have you ever been on the Carnival Miracle? Are you interested in seeing what she's like after the refurb? Leave a comment below. Now, I gotta tell you about this poor, victimized Royal Caribbean cruiser who was devastated during her disembarkation experience. Before I do that, let's take a break. You know what it is. Dance break. Dance break. Get up. Get up. There you go. Dance break. Okay, it was really a juggling break. Some days I just want to juggle. There was a juggling break, but hopefully you got up and you shook yourself around a little bit. Get the blood flowing. Yeah, so here's this post. Check it out. Let me read it to you word for word. I don't know how this person survived after this. This is from a Facebook group around the Royal Caribbean Wonder of the Seas. Poster says, getting ready to disembark. Please, people, stop wearing pajamas outside your stateroom. Yes, they're nice. Yes, they are cute, but they are still pajamas. I literally saw no fewer than a dozen women all across the ship. You aren't at your Meemaw's house. Gosh, I don't know, man. Are people really strung this tight? Or maybe I'm not strung tight enough. But is it wrong for people to wear pajamas outside of their cabin? Is that a big faux pas when you're on vacation? I think my rule is simple. The rule I like to follow, as long as all of your bits are covered, your naughty bits are covered, then you're covered. I don't care if somebody has on pajamas. I guess it's fit for purpose, right? Like, do you want people wearing pajamas in the restaurant? But do you care if somebody's wearing pajamas at the coffee line? I don't know. And then it was very formal at my Mima's house. We had to wear tuxedos all the time. So I think it's kind of out of school for this lady to bring Mima's into it, okay? We're very formal at my Mima's house, all right? So let me just say this. I really love live music on cruise ships, and that's going to be the big question for today. What is your favorite type of live music on a cruise ship? I'm going to leave you some choices. Please participate in the show. Answer the big question in the first comment. And also check out this episode. You haven't seen it yet. Subscribe for more. This is Tony for La Lido Loca. Until the next time, we'll see you on the Lido. Bye.